Time for stories to start your morning, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Wild finish to the Thunder Rockets Game 7. 9 seconds left, Thunder down 1. Luguentz Dort's shot blocked by James Harden. Then he avoids the ball as it rolls out of bounds to seal it. Harden struggled again on offense, said afterwards he knew he needed to step it up on defense, and he did. The Houston Rockets send Chris Paul and the Thunder home. They are on to round 2 for a matchup with LeBron and the Lakers. Here's James Harden and CP3 after the game.
Like, it's cool to, you know, get 40 or 50 points or be shooting the ball extremely well. Obviously, we all want to do that, but just to get recognition and for it to pay off, you know, when it counts on the defensive end and show that I've been engaged and locked in, for it to show in a clutch moment, it means a lot.
No, man, it's a tough one. It's tough. We fought hard all year. Obviously, a lot of people doubted us, but we didn't doubt ourselves. We didn't give a damn about anybody's predictions going into any series. In any game, we expected to win.
Right. And that's the way we played all season long. Every game, we expected to win. And so, yeah, that's a tough one.
All right, Nick, what did you make of the way this one ended?
Well, that block by James Harden saved a lot of jobs and at least staved off a lot of legacy commentary that people, I think they had the tweets pre-written about Harden and to a lesser extent Westbrook and also Mike D'Antoni.
That's right.
I mean, in an alternate universe where Harden does not get out for this block and Luguentz Dort, who is having the best game of his entire life, if he makes that shot, D'Antoni is already gone. There are real questions about my pal Daryl's job security. James Harden is marred forever as an all-time playoff choke artist, fair or not. Because when he's been bad in the postseason, he's been really bad. Even though he's had some great postseason moments, he averages with the Rockets 28, 8, and 7 for his postseason career. But his bad games have come at the worst times, and this would have gone right to, if not at the very top of that list. But because we are so results-based, the Rockets won, and the game ends with Harden saving the day. This is now just a footnote. Like Russell Westbrook's meltdown in Game 6 will be forgotten. The fact that the Rockets should have won all 6 of the first games in this series will be forgotten. It's like, oh, that was a series. Chris Paul had some moments. The Rockets moved on. And so that all changes if that shot goes in. And the future of the Rockets franchise changes if that shot goes in and Harden doesn't get out there. Brandon, I know you've been harping on the point, though. If they are going to have any chance against the Lakers, they need the offensive side of James Harden to get back to regular season production levels if they're going to have, Brandon, any chance in this next series against the Lakers.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like their approach to basketball right now. The reality is everyone's now talking about James Harden's defense in the closing seconds of this game, but he's been playing great defense and engaged all season. He's really embraced this. But that's not why you pay James Harden. You pay James Harden to do what he said, oh, well, people think it's cool to score 40, 50, but sometimes you win the other way. Well, no, that's not true because you guys doubled down on small ball. You guys doubled down on you dominating the basketball. And that's not what we're seeing. When's the last time you saw James Harden penetrate and kick the way he did last night? James Harden always imposed his will and forced the referees to call fouls. He's not doing that right now. Is he playing good defense? Yes. Do we want him to play good defense? Yes. But if you have a chance this year, James Harden has to score 40, 50 points. They're lucky that they escaped last night.
Yeah, survive and escape. I want to throw in some Russ sound because Russ had some good points about Harden's defense. Take a listen.
Play defense. I think if media and people actually look at the numbers, since you guys like to look at numbers, look at them, and then you'll get your answers.
because James defends. I think this notion of obviously in the past where he will lose his man and do different things, but he's improved. Not just for me being in this year, but I've seen him improve on that side of things. I think he gets overlooked because he's such an exceptional offensive player. And you guys only see one thing. It's like, oh, he can't play defense. Well, that's not true.
Low-key analytics disc. Look at this. Most deflections and loose balls recovered. Drew Holiday, it's Harden, it's Chris Paul, it's Ben Simmons. He also led the league with 125 steals. Nicky had 3 blocks last night, 2 in crunch time. So Russ is right. This guy's been playing great defense, and you mentioned it earlier in the show. You also can't post him up. Now, the issue is this. He had 17 points, 4 for 15 from the field. We know he's had some real duds of elimination games. He had that game, he scored 10 points when the Spurs blew him out by 40 points. He had set the record for turnovers, Nick. So I'm not sure if I feel totally confident if in this next series with the Lakers and the game's on the line that Harden is going to show up. Are you more confident now than you were before last night's game?
No, I'm less confident. I mean, listen, Harden is a guy. Listen, both of these things can be true. He's one of the 5 greatest offensive players of the last 50 years. That is undeniable. That can be true, and this can also be true. He tightens up in the biggest spots. He missed 2 threes last night by 3 feet. Like, I mean, one airballed, the other hit the wrong side of the backboard. And there's been too many of these instances in order for us to ignore it. But I do want to be fair in this regard. So much with Harden has been results-based. Last year in the series against the Warriors, he averaged more points, more assists on a higher field goal percentage against a healthy Warriors team than Kawhi averaged in the finals against the decimated Warriors. Kawhi gets anointed after that series. Harden gets crushed after his because one team won, one team lost. So if we're going to be results-based with Harden when he plays well and they lose, we've got to do it the other way as well, which is he played poorly but survive and advance and move on. And the other thing is, Brandon, we talked all week about clutch god Chris Paul. You brought up the great point. The Thunder were the best clutch team in basketball, and Chris Paul's the best clutch player. It's a little unfair, but not totally unfair to say, man, after Chris Paul gives the quote, some people are built for this moment, some people aren't, a clear shot at Harden when he's staring Harden down at the free throw line in Game 6, you're going to do all that. In Game 7, in a 1-point game in the final 3 minutes, you can't have a turnover, a missed 7-footer, another near turnover on the second to last possession, and then not touch the ball in the final 15 seconds of the game. Like, it is fair to say, Brandon, after Chris Paul was clutch all year long, that in the final minutes last time of it.
Yeah, that's fair. And Chris came on yesterday and he said that for them to pull this off, Chris Paul's going to have to score and he's going to have to shoot. And he didn't do that. Yep. But at the end of the day, we need to be talking about Gordon. Gordon did a hell of a job of defending him. Like, he stepped up to the challenge. This is what we need to see out of all superstars in these moments. So I think, you know, yes, Chris Paul could have been better. But at the end of the day, Gordon did a phenomenal job of stepping up and stopping this guy.
No, Nick is calling that a terrible turnover, though. I thought that was just a solid defensive play. Go ahead, Jenna.
I just want to spin it forward. You saw what the Rockets just went through. They're exhausted. They played 7 games, and you clearly now see the weakness in James Harden and his offense. So what kind of problems, what kind of struggles can they possibly give the Lakers moving forward?
Oh, listen, I still think the Lakers should be on high alert against the Rockets. I think this is a 7-game series. I think that the fact that Harden was bad in Game 7 has, to me, no indication over whether or not he'll be good or not in Game 1. I would expect him to be good in Game 1. And I know a lot of folks are saying, listen, the Rockets can't match the Lakers' size, and they can't. But I think the Rockets will be thrilled if the Lakers play a bunch of lineups with Anthony Davis and a center. If the Lakers wanted to make quick work of the Rockets, they would play their own small ball, but with a 7-footer, with Anthony Davis at the 5. I fear instead JaVale and Dwight and Markieff Morris are going to get real minutes, and that's going to mean the Rockets are going to be able to shoot themselves into and shoot the Lakers out of some of these games.
That's
so,
right.
Brandon, I think this next series actually could be the toughest series of the entire postseason for the Lakers. Yep. Russ is only getting stronger. Harden will bounce back at least early in the series. Right. Now, I can't pick the Rockets to win it, Brandon, because you've got the best clutch player in the history of the league, LeBron, against a team that clearly struggles in those situations. But I do think that the Rockets can win at least 2, if not 3 games in this series.
Ooh.
I agree, because this team has been sneaky good on the defensive side, and that's the storyline today. James Harden, he's one of the all-time best scorers. If this guy starts finding the basket, some of these games may not even be close. And I know that's going out on a limb to say that, but this guy in one night can hit 40, can hit 50. We're saying it over and over again. And you put that alongside of playing good defense, this could be a scary series for LeBron James and the Lakers.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a series of extremes, Nick. And I'll tell you more about that tomorrow's show.
Tomorrow. 1 minute to go, guys. Take a quick take your pick. Game 1 tonight. Nuggets, Clippers. Great slate tonight. Who you got, Brandon?